what has become my normal is not normal. Expressions like my head is underwater but I'm breathing just fine. Guys, if your head is underwater, you are not meant to be breathing fine. You are not meant to be okay. If you are sinking and the world and the ground is sucking you in, these songs and these things that tell us that we have to be superwoman, superman, this is how we end up not telling people we are not okay. This is how we end up not telling people that we need help, because we are singing these songs. We are watching these things that tell us that your head can be underwater and you breathe fine. Now, I don't know what equipment you have under that water for you to be breathing fine, but if your head is underwater and you are breathing, you can't be breathing fine. At some point, you will run out of oxygen, you will suffocate, and you will die. Good morning, brothers and sisters, wherever you are in the world. I hope that you are doing very well. I hadn't intended to release a video today. I haven't been feeling 100%. I've had this sadness over me over the last few days, and I thought, you know what, I don't feel like releasing a video. I don't feel like recording, but I was just in that sadness, and I thought, I had this feeling of coming to just come here and tell you guys about that sadness and how being in it and staying in it has allowed me to reflect on certain things in my life. Just to kind of give you an idea of where I'm going and how I'm feeling, there's this song called Even If. And it says, I'm just gonna read the lyrics. It says, they say sometimes you win and sometimes you lose some. And right now I'm losing bad. I've stood on the stage night after night, reminding the broken it will be all right. But right now, I just can't. It's easy to sing when there is nothing to bring you down. But what will I say when I'm held to the flames like I am right now? I identify a lot with this song because, hey, I come here and I give people hope. But what happens when I need it? So the reason why I'm doing this video is because I don't want to perpetuate something that this feeling has taught me. I've been feeling this way, and I've been reflecting on relationships I have in my life. I've been reflecting on how I got here and what I can do to change it. So me making this video is because I think I would like to title this Growing Pains, because, you know, sometimes you feel pain because there's a lot of things falling apart in your life. Sometimes you feel pain and you're sinking into depression, but there's certain pains that you need to feel so that you can outgrow the place you are at. It's just like going to the gym. If you keep going to the gym and you're doing the same thing, at some point you reach a stagnant plateau, and you need to up where you are. You need to up your exercise routine so that your body can grow, so that so that you can get results. So that's what I think this is about. It's about growing pains. Now, what am I hoping to get out of this video? This video is twofold. I'm hoping that if you are that person who is a hero to people, that you will take time to realize that sometimes, number one, it's okay not to be okay, and that we need to get out of this notion that we are there just for people. We need to also have and allow people. That's the important thing. We need to allow people to be there for us, because when you are a strong person, what happens is that others don't know how to be there for you. On the other side, if you are a person who, if like right now, you can think of somebody who you go to, and you always go to that person when you have problems, you always go to that person when things aren't all right in your life. I hope what you are gonna get out of this video is that maybe you need to change the dynamic of that relationship. Check on the person. Even if you think they always figure it out, check on the person, because between things breaking and them being figured out, there is a process and there's pain, and in between those two stages, that person also needs someone just to say, how are you? Even if you can't help them the way they would help you, sometimes they need someone to just bounce off their thoughts, their feelings too. So going back to how I've been feeling, I think I know I'm happy right now, but I've had this sadness just following me since last week. This sadness, and I seem to be sinking into it, and I keep asking myself, what's not going right in your life? What's not going right in your life that you're so sad? And when I got to realize that, okay, fine, maybe this is what they mean by growing pains, I allowed myself to get into the sadness, and I said, how do you feel, Tato? How do you feel? What are you feeling? What I then got to realize is that, number one, it hurt me that, say for example, my family wouldn't check on me, my friends wouldn't check on me. You know, I wanted someone to say, how are you? I wanted someone to check on how, oh, you quit your job, how are you surviving? Even if they're not asking me because they think something is wrong, but it's a life transition, just someone checking on me. I missed seeing those words. I had a friend come over, she's like a little sister. She happened to hear from someone that, oh, Tato has moved, Tato quit her job, and she said, oh, I heard this, and then she decided to come by. She ended up spending the night, and we had a conversation that night, and I was telling her, and I ended up crying, saying, you know, the reason why I didn't tell you, and the reason why I kept quiet was not because I didn't want to tell you, it's because it's like I'm transitioning and I'm becoming somebody else, and I'm now recognizing that I have been there for people, and because I was always this person who people come to, I never realized that the people were not there for me. So for example, I realized that I'm always talking to my friends. Things are okay, but it's because I'm always reaching out, and it took me pulling back to recognize that no, you don't check on me when I don't check on you. You don't know what's happening in my life if I don't tell you. I don't know what's happening in your life if I don't ask you. You see that? And like what all my friends have said, something that resonated with me was that all of them said, but Tato, you always seem to have it figured out. Even if something big or bad happens in your life, somehow you always seem to be okay. And I apologized to her and said, that's something that I've come to realize. I have been giving and exuding the strength to people that, number one, I feel uncomfortable in people seeing me in weakness, that I go to my quiet place and I feel all my pain, and I come out and I present strength. That's number one. And number two, because I've gone through things, or one time where I got into depression, and I was so weak that I saw what it did to my loved ones. I saw how they didn't know how to deal with me in pain, I felt like my pain became a burden. I don't know if that makes sense. So if you are used to being a strong person, what happens is that you shy away from telling people that you're in pain, because your pain, you telling people you're in pain, becomes a burden. Because not because they see it as a burden, but because you've been so strong, they don't know what to do. They don't know how to help you. And it's when you see people going through that because of you, that it makes you even feel guilty for being in that position. It makes you feel guilty that you burdened them with that burden you have, which is not right, which is not right. I realized that I never allowed people to help me. I never allowed people to I'm gonna change that tone. I never allowed myself to be helped. I never allowed myself to be weak. I never allowed myself to be vulnerable. And that's a dangerous thing. It's a dangerous thing in the time we live in, because people now, especially with this pandemic, are confined to spaces. Everybody is dealing with their own demons and their own problems. That is so easy to be caught up in yourself that you don't realize that the people around you are sinking. It's very dangerous. So if everybody is sinking, what then happens is that that person who was always known to be the anchor and the strength, they get to sink even more, because they have their own balloon of problems that's just pumping up, and then people are adding to it. But the people don't see that. They are just using that reflex muscle. I always go to Tato for my problems. Therefore, I'm going to keep doing it. But is Tato okay? I have problems. Is there a possibility that Tato has the same problems as me? I think this thing was something that has been building up, because what happened was that some months ago I was moving. Actually, I was fixing up my son's bedroom, and I was moving like his cot bed. You can like break it up and becomes like a whole bedroom suite thing. And I was carrying all these things alone, moving furniture, and at the end of the day I was so tired. And I remember talking to a friend of mine and telling her, and she was like, "Oh, you can do that. For me, just carrying the plastics from the car after buying groceries is too much." And I remember saying to her, well, if that's the case, then there's no hope for me. And I said, because carrying groceries from the car is like breathing. Then she said to me, "Friend, that means you're breathing heavy. You're breathing heavy." I cried all afternoon. Because I got to then realize that what has become my normal is not normal. Expressions like, "My head is underwater, but I'm breathing just fine." Guys, if your head is underwater, you are not meant to be breathing fine. You are not meant to be okay. If you are sinking and the world and the ground is sucking you in, these songs and these things that tell us that we have to be superwoman, superman, this is how we end up not telling people we are not okay. This is how we end up not telling people that we need help, because we are singing these songs. We are watching these things that tell us that your head can be underwater and you breathe fine. Now, I don't know what equipment you have under that water for you to be breathing fine, but if your head is underwater and you are breathing, you can't be breathing fine. At some point, you will run out of oxygen, you will suffocate, and you will die. So I'm making this video because like I said, I don't want to perpetuate this person I have been in my life, this superwoman I have been to my family, to my friends. I don't want to carry it here. I don't want to come here and for you guys to think, oh, she has it figured out. She is so strong. I break down. I have days when it's tough. I have days when, like this week, I have been waking up around 3 and I can't pray. And there are no words. And I want to say, God, why have you forsaken me? Where are you? But everything is okay in my life. I'm okay. My son is healthy. I'm healthy. I have a beautiful home. But what's wrong with me? Why am I not okay? Letting myself be not okay allowed me to ask myself these questions. Letting myself feel this pain allowed me to reflect that I'm sad, that my loved ones don't recognize that I also need the same things they need. My loved ones don't recognize that I have low moments. My loved ones don't recognize that I need them. So that's one thing. The pain has showed me that I was feeling this pain because of this. Number 2, it then made me recognize how I got here. Because I've always been projecting strength. I've always been projecting and exuding, I have it figured out. Yes, it's crumbling, but I will figure it out. Yes, I don't know the solution, but I know I will come up with one. I then, number 3, got to the point where I'm now saying I want to learn to ask for help. I want to learn to say I'm not okay. I want to learn to say I need you. I need help. I need a shoulder to cry on. I need someone to hold my hand right now. So, as much as it's not nice to go through things, sometimes you need to go through them. Sometimes you need to let yourself go there and ask the pain, why are you here in my life? What am I meant to learn from this? Mind you, I have gone through depression before. So when I start feeling like this, I first of all try and identify, am I getting depressed? Am I sinking into depression? That's me. And if I say, no, I'm not sinking into depression, I then say, what's not right in my life? Everything is right in my life. Then I say, okay, if you are growing pain, what are you here to teach me? What are you trying to tell me? What is not right? What is not right? As a person, you need to be always willing to evolve. You need always to be willing to look yourself and go to the most uncomfortable part of you so that you can be better, so that you can reach that state of emotional, mental, physical well-being. You cannot change things when you don't realize they're broken. You cannot get help when you don't realize that something is wrong. And sometimes it takes times like this to get there. So if you are that person who has somebody that you go to for help, check on that person. Just say, how are you today? How are you doing? Because sometimes even a hero needs a hero. Go be a hero to somebody else. I hope this message makes sense and that it's for someone who needed to hear it. Have a blessed day, guys. Have a blessed day.